If you've ever wanted to become an absolute badass, capable of defending yourself from armed, violent criminals who are trying to attack and or maim you, then you're gonna wanna stick around, because I have found the perfect channel for you to never watch. Just never watch them. This is Detroit Threat Management Center, or as they're better known, Detroit Urban Survival Training, or D.U.S.T, because acronyms are cool. They're a tactical team of tactical people with lots of tactical gear, and they specialize in teaching you how to tactically die in pretty much any situation you can think of. Have you ever wanted to learn how to get stabbed with a knife? Well, they got you covered. You ever thought to yourself, man, I would love if a violent robber shot me in the face today? Well, then start singing, because they cover that too. And it gets even better, because for the low price of only $1 a minute, you can call D.U.S.T instead of the police if you ever find yourself in a situation, and they will personally drive out to you and call the police for you. They'll call the police for you, because they're a private security firm with no real authority. Funny enough. This man here is called Dale, and from what I can tell, he appears to be the owner of the company. So today, we're gonna learn some self-defense tips together from Dale. We'll take a little journey, watch a few clips, and hopefully by the end of it, we will all be little survival boys. Now, I don't normally do this, but this is a video that you're definitely gonna wanna watch all the way to the end, because the final clip that I'm gonna break down for you is literally insane. It's crazy. So if you're one of Dale's fans and you want to argue with me, or you think I'm just a hater, save it until the end of this video, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. Let's get into it.
Detroit Urban Survival Training. Today we're going to share with you what we've had to use in order to hold someone against their will and detain them for law enforcement after they committed a crime. And so this is something that can really be beneficial for you. So in this case, I put my foot here, right next to the shoulder. Right here, the lock is here, up against the thigh. And for extra control, we can actually bend the wrist downward.
Okay. All right. What the fuck is this? If your attacker ever decides to just lay down on their face in front of you, you can grab their arm and help them get a nice shoulder stretch in. And they'll be so grateful that they'll stop attacking you. I don't doubt that this could be uncomfortable if you were dumb enough to just lie there while he did it, but the problem here is that all you need to do is roll a little bit. Take your body and roll. Just a tiny little bit. You know what I mean? Just a quick little boop up onto your side, and then you're free immediately with almost no effort to continue being a violent criminal, presumably.
By bending the wrist downward here, you're actually able to create a lock, and you have two locks, because you actually can go hands-free here, or hold here and maintain it.
So not only can you hold a person against their will with just their arm, ignoring the fact that they have, like, you know, a whole body and stuff, but apparently you can do it with no hands too. How this man has not ended just all crime in Detroit by now is a mystery to us all.
Another one like this. So you got it hard, and you're a strong guy. You want to get this knife out of his hand, but you're going to hold it tight.
Yes, that's right. If someone pulls a knife on you, you should grab the blade with your bare hands and then fucking yank on it. The goal here is that when the attacker sees you slice your own hand wide open, they'll think you're a psychopath and run away. That, or they'll attack you more aggressively because you were stupid enough to grab their fucking weapon. Listen up, man. Unless you want to get sliced open, you better give me your wallet. Well, now that you mention it. What are you doing, bud? Are you crazy? It hurts. It hurts a lot. Oh, does it? Yeah. So you're saying that grabbing a hold of my knife blade didn't work out for you? Not at all. What a shocker. Well, I saw this video, and there was this guy, and he said intelligent options for survivability, and look, are you gonna be okay, man? I mean, yeah. I need stitches now, though. I'm sorry. Thank you for your concern. Oh, it's my pleasure. Just for clarification, if somebody pulls a knife on you and you don't have a weapon, you should run away. You should run in the direction of away. But if you cannot get away for whatever reason, the last thing that you want to do is raw dog the knife blade with your bare hands. Do you see what I did there? Bare hands? Now we're gonna learn how to disarm a criminal who has a gun. Oh my God. Such skill. Such grace. Why did his legs give out? All you did was gently tickle his forehead. You didn't even trip him. He just folded over like a cheap skank. I'm sorry. That was rude and inappropriate of me. I used the wrong term. I didn't mean to do that. What I meant to say was affordable, not cheap. See, this one makes a little bit more sense because you actually put your leg behind him, kind of like you're tripping him. Now what's he gonna do? Oh no, he's getting back up. He's grabbing your weapon. And he had a stroke. Seriously, why do his legs keep giving out? Is he made of matchsticks? Are you endowing him with the Holy Spirit?
Detroit Urban Survival Training.
Wow. Really nice of the attacker to just let go of his weapon for you. Give me all your money. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's happening. Okay. Stay calm. Remember your training. Dust. Did you just grab my weapon? Do you need it? Yeah, kind of. Well, then take it. It's yours. Really? Yeah, you just looked like you needed it more than I did. That's so crazy because I did. I was being attacked by a violent criminal. I didn't have a way to defend myself. Huh. Well, isn't that something? Well, now you do, kiddo. Wow, thanks, mister. So by this point, you may be noticing a bit of a trend. Dust here would like for you to make it as easy as possible for your attackers to murder you. Just straight up end your life, which is actually a very nice thing for you to do. If you think about it, everybody needs a break now and then, especially violent criminals. You're just out here doing charity for the less fortunate, you know what I mean? Doing God's work. You should carry a knife with you at all times. That way, if you ever get robbed and they don't have one, you can just give them yours. You know what I mean? Take some of that burden off of their chest. Better yet, take your knife and just stab yourself in the face. Show them you really care. Now, in all reality, I don't necessarily think that Dale's a bad guy. I think there's a big chance that he does genuinely believe he's helping. No, see, the problem here is that Dale doesn't know what he's talking about. Look at this.
Detroit Urban Survival Training. We're going to share with you right now what you can do to increase your survivability if a person has a blade.
So if someone has a knife and you gently do a front oblique kick to their knee, every tendon in both legs will immediately explode and they will die. So to see if this is true, I want to show you guys a comparison video, which is a compilation of UFC fighter John Jones, who is arguably one of the best pound for pound fighters who's ever lived, doing oblique kicks. And I want you to count how many of his opponents fall over. OMG, whoever could have guessed? None of them fell over at all. What an incredibly shocking turn of events. So, just to summarize, Dale, if John Jones can't do it, who again is one of the best fighters ever, then how the fuck are we supposed to, Dale? Also, if this did work, then why would you ever teach your followers to wrap their exposed fleshy meat paws around somebody's knife blade, you fucking cartoon? Now, if after all that, you still don't agree with me, then I want to show you guys one final example. And yes, it is the one that I mentioned at the beginning, the one that I said you're definitely going to want to watch. This is it. This is the payoff. And it also just happens to be an absolutely invaluable piece of information if you'd like to see an early grave, which is okay, because then you can meet Betty White in heaven. Too soon? Is it too soon? Probably. I apologize. Now, I gotta warn you, if you're the type of person who thinks that this man is self-defense Kung Fu Jesus and you don't want me to shatter your worldview, then now is the last opportunity for you to step back into Fantasyland, where it's totally possible to dodge bullets, attackers willingly give you their weapon, and people still care about Seth Rogen. But if you like continuing to breathe because you're a reasonable person with lungs and stuff. Wait, humans have lungs, right? I mean, of course we do, for I too am human with at least one lung. Two lungs. I have two lungs, and of course I knew this because we're the same, you and I. If you don't know why I'm doing this bit right now, it's because of this video, which is also on my channel, and you should watch it. Anyway, if you like continuing to live, then you might actually have a vested interest in watching me show you how this man will surely get you killed. And of course, getting killed is bad because then you can't use your lungs anymore, which again is something I also have.
Detroit Urban Survival Training. I'm going to share with you right now what to do if a striker-fired weapon is pinning against your chest, against the wall, and a criminal is holding you at bay. And the reason why they're doing this is because this is how they search you for weapons, how they're going to take things from you, also how they're going to harm you physically, keep you from running or pulling out a weapon, is by getting close and pinning you to a wall or to a car. In this case, it's striker fired, so there's no hammer in the back. So the first thing we're going to do, since we can't move out of the way, we can't move offline, and if I were to try to move this, as soon as he saw my hand move, he's going to fire. So we have to make this weapon not fire. And to give an example of the human reaction time, when he sees me move, he's going to fire. So the reason why it didn't move, the slide didn't slide, is because I inhibited it by pushing it to the rear.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Holy shit. Okay, so the more astute of you may have already realized what the problem is with this clip. But for the rest of you who worship the ground this man defecates on, prepare your minds for imminent explosion. In order to make himself sound more legitimate, he used the term striker-fired weapon. So I did a little bit of research, and I think it's important that I put this into context for you. There are two main types of firearms. There's striker-fired, which is what he already mentioned, and there's hammer-fired. A hammer-fired weapon has a visible hammer on the back of it. There are many modern guns that have this feature, but if you're having trouble visualizing it, all you have to do is picture Clint Eastwood scowling a hole through space and time. What? Okay. Oh no! That's right. Some good old-fashioned cowboy guns. Punk. This right here is a double-action .22 caliber revolver. I want you to pay particularly close attention to the hammer on the back of it, which you can see right here. I want to show you a quick demonstration, but before I do, I am, of course, going to check to make sure there's no ammunition in the weapon, because the first thing that you should always do when handling a firearm is personally check to make sure it's not loaded, Alec Baldwin. Perfect. Now, this is a double action, so I don't need to cock it in order for it to fire, but I'm going to just for the demonstration. Hammer goes back. Trigger gets pulled, hammer goes forward. If it was loaded, then the hammer would have just struck the primer of a live round, creating a small controlled explosion, propelling the bullet out of the shell, through the barrel, and into the feeble chest of anyone who listens to Dale. Now, this is a 9mm striker-fired handgun. As you can see, there is no visible hammer on the back of it. This is because it uses a different firing mechanism, which is instead an internal striking pin that's controlled with a spring loading system. Fun fact, this can also be put into a cock position, but you just can't visually tell. But that doesn't matter anyway, because of course, the weapon's not going to fire unless you pull the trigger, Alec Baldwin. Now, I want to show you something, and I want to see if you can spot it. But before I do, I am, of course, going to make sure the weapon is unloaded, because the first thing you should always do is make sure there are no bullets in your gun, Alec Baldwin. I'm going to pull the trigger, and I want you to pay close attention. You ready? Did you see what happened? Or more importantly, did you see what didn't happen? No? One more time. Did you see it that time? Well, don't worry, because I'm gonna explain anyway. In the clip, Mr. King of Detroit here is, for obvious reasons, not using a real gun. He's using a toy, which makes sense because he's a human person with lungs and stuff, and he probably wants to preserve those lungs, which is great, because then they'll be fresh for my experiments. I mean, he'll be able to keep breathing with them, which is something we all do as normal humans. Now, I want you to notice that this toy gun has a slide on it that goes back and forth when the trigger is pulled in order to try and simulate a gun firing. Now, our boy here tells us that if we could just catch the slide in its back position, then we would stop the weapon from firing, which is totally legitimate and won't at all get you murdered. But herein lies the problem. I want you guys to try to remember all the way back when I demonstrated with the 9mm that I have here. Do you remember what happened when I pulled the trigger? Or more importantly, what didn't happen when I pulled the trigger? Gosh, it feels like only yesterday. I'll give you a hint. The slide didn't move at all. But I want to point out that the weapon still made an audible clicking sound even though the slide didn't move. Now, you might be wondering, why is this important, bro man? And to you, I would say, chill. I'm obviously gonna tell you. That's why I set this whole thing up for the last however many minutes it's taken to get here, okay? You big stupid dumbass, you big dumb fucking dummy. Sorry, I'm sorry. Please subscribe and hit the like button and all that good stuff. Anyway, the sound you heard was the internal striking pin attempting to hit a live round. Because there were no rounds in the gun, nothing actually happened. But if there was a live round in the chamber, then the striking pin would have found its target and the gun would have fired. So what does this mean? Well, this next line is extremely important, so I want you to pay extra close attention. Buckle rolling, boys! The slide doesn't need to move in order for the weapon to fire. In fact, the weapon actually needs to fire first before the slide can move, because the internal striking pin is a completely separate mechanism than the slide, which means that even if you were fast enough to reach up and grab the slide of the gun before it had a chance to move forward, it wouldn't fucking matter, because there would still be a hole in your chest where your heart used to be. And if you still don't believe me, then here is the final nail in the coffin. This is a firearm being filmed in ultra slow motion. As you can see, this is a striker fired weapon. When the trigger is pulled, you can immediately see smoke being ejected from the barrel, followed directly by fire and this little guy. In case you can't tell, that little cutie is called the bullet. It's the bullet. But wait, that's weird, because the slide hasn't even started moving yet. What? Yes, that's correct. If you do what this man just told you to do in a video with over 100 million views, you will die. You'll just be dead. And the only thing that you'll have accomplished is nothing, because you're fucking dead now. And before you tell me that he's talking about grabbing the slide before the gun is fired, he literally just said 2 seconds ago that if you try to reach for the weapon and push it, you're gonna get shot.
Or to try to move this, as soon as he saw my hand move, he's gonna fire.
Dale thinks that you can stop a gun from firing by grabbing the slide after the trigger is pulled. Again, this video has over 100 million views, half of whom are probably dead now. So in conclusion, I want to extend a warm thank you to Dale and to Dust for inspiring the people of Detroit and of Earth to learn the skills necessary in order to defend themselves from being alive, from continuing to live. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the notification bell, and comment down below. Tell me, how many loved ones have you lost to the reign of Dale? Anyway, gotta go. Peace!